Hi everyone, this is Clint from Persuasive Evangelism. I haven't done a video in a while, but I just finished a book that I really enjoyed, so I thought I'd do a review of it. It's currently November, and the trees have changed colors, the leaves are falling, it's getting colder and rainier, but I like this season. So the book I read, I actually went to a Christian bookstore about 40 minutes from where I live, and I was just looking through the apologetics section, and this one caught my attention, Coming to Faith through Dawkins. It's edited by Denis, Alexander, and Alister McGrath. So I thought, oh, I've heard of Alister McGrath, so I thought, oh, I'll try it out. And it says 12 essays on the pathway from new atheism to Christianity. So it's 12 chapters, and each chapter is written by someone that was influenced by Dawkins. So Dawkins is Richard Dawkins. He's one of the famous new atheism came onto the scene after 9/11, so early 2000s to mid 2000s, and there's 4 or 5 of the main, and he was one of the main new atheism that wrote books like The God Delusion and so on, and would go across having lectures and so on. He was actually just Richard Dawkins was actually just near where I live. He's going on his last speaking tour, because I think he's in his early 80s now, but one of the stops in October was in Portland, Oregon, not far from where I live, about an hour away. But so I picked up this book. So the 12 people that write the chapters, at some point Richard Dawkins influenced them and they became an atheist. But at some point, they saw the weaknesses of the atheism argument, and God started changing their heart, and they became Christians. So each one wrote about it. Out of the 12 chapters, I really enjoyed 9 of them. 2 were okay, and then there was one that was kind of scratching my head. But overall, I really enjoyed this book. I wanted just to read a couple things in it. So chapter 2. Is written by Sarah Irving Stonebraker, and it says, wrestling with life's biggest questions. So I like this part. It says, I reflected upon my own struggle with finding my meaning and satisfaction in my life's work, and how it could never bear the burden of giving my life ultimate meaning. Only Jesus, who is God himself, can bear the weight of giving my life ultimate meaning. This is because Jesus is life itself. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me, John 14:6. Jesus bore the burden of my sin on the cross. Over the next few months, I began to attend a church and continue reading the Bible. I spent lots of time in reflection. I came to the conclusion that atheism could not provide adequate answers to the big questions. It could not make sense of what I saw as a historian and what I experienced of the human predicament of living in a world that does not satisfy our deepest longings. The more I learned about God's love for us in Jesus, the more I found myself overwhelmed. I realized that God had always known me, always loved me, and that he wanted me to stop running after everything else in life except him. I had lived a life rejecting God, arrogantly ridiculing and poking fun at the very idea of God, and yet God showed me grace. But he gave me this grace at the horrific cost of taking the punishment that my sin deserved on himself in Jesus. Well, there's so much more to this story. I decided that the Bible's explanation of who God is, and who we are, and what life is about were true. So this kind of feels like how I felt. Like it felt like I was running away, trying to do everything to fill that void in my life, and then God brought me back and just filled it. And then I'll read something else. So chapter 7, Coming to Faith via the God Delusion by Nick Berryman. So my dog Annie keeps barking outside this glass window thing, and she's staring at me barking, but she can go around, but she did go around, but now she thinks she can't get to me. Annie, hold on. For many atheists, Okay, the deeper question on morality, though, is who defines what is right and wrong. There is a much stronger case for God here than I ever realized. The Christian answer is that God, who is outside of time and space, is the creator and the rule giver. If that is true, the morality is absolute, and what is right and wrong is true for all people in all places and all the time. God gives morality, absolute morality. It's not just what we feel. There is like right and wrong. And then one other thing I wanted to read from the same chapter. The Bible teaches that putting your faith in Jesus is the start of new life in those who follow Jesus. God grows the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That has been my experience, that in each of these ways I have changed for the better since I became a Christian. Please do not misread me. I am not claiming to be a better person than any of my atheist friends. I'm claiming to be a better person than I myself used to be. All because God is working in me to transform my desires to be more godly, more like Jesus. So we're all separated from God, from our sin. We're all following Jesus, lived the perfect life, died on the cross for our sins, and rose again, defeating death. And Jesus says, whoever believes in me will not perish and will have everlasting life. So I really enjoyed this book. I recommend it. Coming to Faith through Dawkins. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye. God bless.